Welcome back to the Music Podcast. I have my co-host, Mr. Tom Wessel, with me, and a very, very special guest, which I'm excited to introduce. So, today's guest is a definition of pop in motion, guitar in hand, a career that's been absolutely amazing already, and she's only just emerging. From lighting up new music stages at South by Southwest, Great Escape, supporting icons like Shania Twain, we have the one, the only Natalie Shay. Natalie, how are you today?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, I would imagine if I kind of came from the BRIT School, it'd be something I'd be very proud to show off. Is this like telling people, or is it kind of pushed under the carpet a little bit?
No, I know I tell everyone. I think anyone that would think there's stigma is people that think that you have to pay to go there. You don't. It's a free school, so there's kind of there's no reason not to tell everybody. I think it's also good generally to mention it because most spaces I go into, there's usually somebody else that went there, and I think it's always quite fun to find people. And I think that's part of the game is to find people out in the industry working in all different parts of the industry, not just like music, just people that went to Brit. So yeah, I kind of tell everyone all the time.
If it was me, I would scream it from the rooftops. I'd have a big megaphone. So I agree. Now, we start all of our shows with an over and underrated. This is just your opinion. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm going to name some artists. Yourself and Tom will say if they're overrated, underrated, or maybe the artist is just rated fine. I'm going to start with Chappell Roan.
Uh, I think rated fine because I think she's great and I think she's massive. So yeah, great.
Yeah, rated fine, I think.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'm on the train. I've been loving her music. The Chainsmokers.
Ooh,
Overrated.
I don't know any of their songs. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Are they good? I don't think that I don't know. Maybe I would have heard of them more.
I wouldn't say I was a massive Chainsmokers fan, but they've done some really good acoustic versions of songs.
What's that?
I have listened to and are very good, I have to say.
They've helped like launch a lot of other artists' careers, so I
Mm.
guess that's always good. You need those kind of artists that launch other people. So yeah.
Absolutely. Miley Cyrus.
Um, I think rated fine. I think she's been on top for like my whole life. So and she's definitely been like a huge part of everything I've ever done since I was like 9 years old. It was the first concert I ever saw actually was the Miley Cyrus concert when I was 9
Ah,
at the O2 Arena. She just finished Hannah Montana. It was her first like Miley Cyrus tour, but it was a lot of Hannah Montana as well. So yeah, for me, yeah, it was huge because that was my first concert, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that. So yeah.
I love. What was story? Tell me you're a Hannah Montana fan. Is she underrated or overrated?
I would say Miley Cyrus is underrated.
Yeah, I think underrated nowadays. I think people don't.
Yeah, definitely now. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has done some again unbelievable covers. Which I really I can like wow. Next artist, Haim.
Uh, I'd say underrated. I feel like they had a very big like period with the first album. They were very well known. I'm not sure if people talk about them as much now as they used to, but I actually think their music always gets better. Like the first album was very special. It was the first thing I ever heard like that, but I actually think their writing is getting better, and I would like them to be as talked about as they were at the start. So yeah,
I absolutely
Yeah, I'd definitely say yeah, underrated, definitely.
yeah.
amazing. Right, Natalie, we're going to come back to yourself, and I want to take you back to your early career. Started gigging at 13 years old. So what I want to know was what was the first song you ever wrote? What inspired it, and how do you feel about it now?
So I wrote a lot when I was like 10, 11. None of them really sort of lived much longer than that. But I remember my dad tells me anyway that my first song I ever wrote was "Have You Ever Tried Sleeping with a Broken Heart?" And I don't know what it was about because I was like 11. Still, probably everything I wrote was kind of either me trying to write a Taylor Swift song or trying to write about a movie. So it was probably some sort of Disney movie that I'd seen and was like, oh, I need to pretend that's me. So it's probably something like that. It didn't go very far, but I think I still kind of write the same kind of song. It's just better now. So I'm not really changed from where I began. Yeah.
You describe your music as guitar breakup pop, which is just such a beautiful way of putting it. I think that's fantastic. What I want to know is, what's the most personal song you've ever written, and was that quite scary to share with the world?
Oh my God. The most personal song I've written is actually the next one to come out. And it is quite scary to share with the world. So I think it's good to talk about it now. I've never really, I don't know. I write about situations and I sort of drop hints about myself into the context of a situation. But this next song is just like a song about things that like are wrong with me. So it's kind of I guess like a sort of confession. So yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but also I think I quite like that. I want people to know me better. I think that helps understand me more. So it's a part of me is excited, but yeah, I'm a bit scared because you never know what people will take from that.
Well, yeah, I don't have a talent for music out at all, but I can imagine it is quite scary putting something so personable out. 'Cause that's a bit of you, isn't it? It literally is a bit of you being.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I feel like when you give people your vulnerabilities in any sort of part of life, like then people know what your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses are. So it's like sort of giving them out on a mass scale to sort of say to everyone like, haha, like this is how you can control me if you want to. So yeah, it's definitely a strange thing, but yeah, like writing is my journal, so I guess I have to do that. So
No, that's absolutely amazing. Now, I know you're North London based, actually, where Westwell is from as well, where he was born. Putting North London on the map. What I want to know is if you could take one album from another artist and claim it as your own, no one will know, what would it be and why?
oh, good question. Album. Uh Probably like Taylor Swift Fearless. I think like every song on there. That's what started me off with all of this. Like, so that's always the special one. Like, I heard the album, I was like, I want to do that. I want to write. She wrote a lot of those songs when she was like 14, 15, and I was like 12 at the time. And I was like, oh, wow, it's not much older than me. And you can write songs and be young. You don't have to be like an adult to write these songs. So I think, yeah, every song on there is amazing. And, they stand up, and I think even the young Taylor Swift fans who are now like 10, 11 are into those songs like I was when I was 10, 11. So I think, yeah, I definitely claim Fearless and take that one.
That's such a great shout. I want to bring Westwell in here because Taylor gets a bad rep sometimes of people going, "Oh, this horrible pop music, shake it out, the lyrics are rubbish, this and that." I'm a massive Swiftie, and to do what she has done, one with connecting people, but two, wasn't it the biggest global tour ever, ever, ever? I mean, you can't argue with the facts here. If people say to me, "I don't rate Taylor," you can't argue that. There's a lot of people that adore her music and her
I
rock.
also feel like you can't just judge it off the stuff that you're like stumble across, because like, I don't really like that stuff. I like you have to, it sounds sort of cliche, but you have to dig a little bit. And I'm sure there's like something you like, because every album is a slightly different genre. So then I'm sure there's gonna be like one song that you like, or some sort of lyric that you like. And I think you also can't hate someone that inspired and influenced most of the artists that you may do like now, like Olivia Rodrigo, like all these people like wouldn't have started music if it wasn't for Taylor, including me. So it's like, okay, you don't like her, but maybe you like one of her like offspring.
It's just things, Westwell, where you think it's cool to dislike Taylor, or is it
I
just
think-
people's?
Yeah. No, I think it definitely has a thing of like, certain people think of her as like kind of being like anti-music, it's like just pop. And then therefore, if I dislike her music, then that makes me cool.
Yeah.
Makes me more, less pop. Like, I quite like, I don't mind Taylor Swift. I wouldn't sit here and say I'm a massive Taylor Swift fan, but I don't have a problem with her music.
Listen, if Taylor Swift was there, I'd be in the crowd screaming every lyric, and I wouldn't care. Natalie, you have 50,000 monthly listeners, a great following. What's a fun fact about you that your fans might not know?
Oh my God, fun fact about me. I feel like I tell people a lot, but maybe they don't directly know. Like, I love musical theatre as much as I love music, and I'm very much into theatre and musicals. And I get passionate about that like I do other artists. And I think, yeah, I feel like when I meet other theatre kids that aren't necessarily into music, at least I can bond with them over that. So yeah, that's definitely a thing.
I love that. That's so good. Amazing. Right, we've got some fan questions come in for Tom. He wasn't here last week, so we built him up, but I've picked some of the best. We've got an amazing one here. It is Tom, if you had to deliver a TED talk, what would it be about?
I don't know, mate. Oh, I hate these questions.
Your new love of hiking, maybe?
Yeah. I'd give a TED talk on what it's like to be up in the mountains. Now that I'm an alpine specialist.
I don't know if there's many mountains in North London, though. I think that's it. You have to look outside.
Wait up, lady.
Tom, if you were a ghost writer, what artist would you want to ghost write for?
I don't know, someone that's going to be really, really popular. I do it for like Lewis Capaldi or like Ed Sheeran or someone like that. You'd have to, wouldn't you? If you're not getting the like, if you're not doing it for yourself and you're doing it for someone else, you got to go big, haven't you? Got to go big. I don't think Ed Sheeran would really benefit from my help, but I'm always there. If he wants to give me a message, I'm always there to drop my 2 cents in.
That's very kind.
And my favorite question here. Hi guys, big fan of the pod. Bit of a weird one here. Tom, what's your skincare routine? Oh, that's from John.
John. Oh well. Is John asking just so he can avoid whatever I'm using? I just wash my face with soap. Obviously, as you know, Josh, I came back from the mountains the other day, and my face was looking a bit greasy. I hadn't really showered properly for a few days, so I treated myself. I gave myself a nice little like face mask and did all of that. So just drink some water. I think it's normally water and soap is probably the best thing. Drink lots of water and wash your face.
John, pretty standard stuff there. Right, I'm going to do a little bit of my segment now. In terms of the latest music news. Sorry, I stole that from Fripp, his segment. We've got Miley Cyrus, their new song at a pre-gala event. It's called More to Lose, meaning there'll be an upcoming visual album, Something Beautiful, set for release at the end of the month. Kendrick Lamar and SZA have announced a grand national tour. The duo is performing a 52-song set list over 3 hours, which is quite something. Natalie, what's the longest set you've ever done?
Oh my God. At full energy, nothing like that. Probably only like an hour. I can't imagine what that's like.
I couldn't imagine more than 40 minutes.
That's hardcore. That you need to train for a marathon or something. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in terms of the music marketing genius of the week that we're going to look back on from last year, and what we saw that we thought was really well, I think it'd be very hard if we're talking about music marketing not to talk about Charlie XCX. Her BRIT album campaigns embraced a raw and messy persona that targeted Gen Zs and the subcultures on TikTok. Natalie, when you're putting out new music and you've got a new song coming out, do you think about, oh, this would place well here? I would imagine them listening to this in the car on the way home. Are you visualizing that, or is that too deep to think of? You're just producing music you can.
I start to think of it when I've picked the song. I start to think about how to market it, but I try not to write songs to fit things. Like, I know I could be writing songs thinking like what's going to go viral on TikTok, but I feel like that is not necessarily true to what I'm doing. But yeah, I definitely, when I've picked the song that's coming out, it's a lot of thoughts about like where can I place it and what's the like tagline, what's the TikTok tagline. I remember I'm doing like a POV, then what is it POV, what like what so I think I start to think about that when I know that something's coming, for sure.
Amazing. Yeah, so it's almost post, you've written it, it's coming out, and then you might think about the aesthetic and how this. I massively agree. I think it's quite worrying if an artist is going this hook for TikTok and this. I'm thinking about before they've written this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that.
I think I do, be. Would I say that's authentic? I don't know. Anyway, Westwell, we're going to move on to your segment, the music quiz. How does it look this week?
I've got just general questions and answers, really.
It's me versus Natalie this week.
It is, yeah, you versus Natalie, and I'm gonna call out a question, and they're not the hardest questions, and I'll be honest, my preparation time was a little bit short this week, so I have nicked it off for someone else, and they are quite easy questions, but just call out the answer. If you get it right, you get a point. If neither of you get it right, you can keep guessing. I don't mind, So we'll start off 10 questions, by the way. It goes 10 questions. And if we need to go to a tie break, we can go to a tie break. So, just watch out for that one. Question 1. You do some like suspenseful music. Who was the lead singer of Nirvana?
Pac-Man.
Oh, you were both on. I think we need buzzers, actually. So I'll give the point to Natalie because just a guess there. But
it's the North London thing, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, got to look after each other. That's it. Just yeah, I don't know. Call your name out if you want to answer. I don't know. Wuthering Heights was the first UK #1 single for which artist?
Kate Bush.
Oh, well done.
Wouldn't have got that. I wouldn't have got that.
Sorry.
Which watch brand features in a title of a song by Wiley?
Rolex.
Oh God, I wouldn't have known.
Oh.
I would never have known.
Was that a guess, Josh?
No, it was. Yeah, I knew that one.
How does the song go?
Wearing my Rolex, is it called?
I don't know, mate, but why not?
It's like a summer anthem. I remember that much.
Oh, is it? Is it? Okay. Question number 4. What heavy rock festival takes place every year at Donington Park?
Download.
Download.
Oh, well done. We are 4 questions down, and the scores are level at 2 apiece. Question number 5. The Jingle Bell Ball is hosted by which radio station?
Capital.
Correct.
Too quick for me.
Question number 6. Which group had the most UK #1 singles in the 1960s?
Beatles.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to give it to Josh there.
Semi flat.
Question number 7. What colour was the little rooster according to a title of a Rolling Stones hit?
Red.
Did red. Is red, yeah, little red rooster. That's a huge song. I don't know how you don't know that one, Josh. What was the name of Justin Timberlake's first UK #1 single?
No idea.
He was in a band first.
Yeah.
Solo. So he would have been like, is it Crimea River?
No.
Sexy Back?
It is Sexy Back.
Thanks, Mike. Oh, damn.
I'm seeing him next month at Highway Festival.
Levite Festival.
Yeah. I'll be there.
See you there.
I'm hoping with a bit of luck, I'll be able to get some content with him as well, which would be
That would be so
incredible.
cool. Yeah.
Putting it out there in the world now.
Yeah, but you said it now. You can manifest it now. You've said it. Yeah.
Good energy. Which band had a hit with Disco 2000?
Oh.
Coming into the last question, Josh has got a narrow lead, but NASA could still take it back to a tiebreak. Question number 10. Gordon Sumner is the real name of which musician?
Question.
Well, we know this person, like 100%, like huge artist.
You should do, yeah. Big, but think like your parents' music.
Is it like
I don't know.
Oh, I'll give you a clue.
Pearl Jam, Queens of the Stone Age vibe?
Yeah, like kind of along that lines. If I said Roxanne,
And Sting. Is his name Sting?
it is Sting.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
I only know that literally because I used to play Rock Band on Wii.
We're going to have to go to a tiebreak here, guys. This is tense stuff. What position did One Direction finish on the X Factor?
Third. Fourth.
It is 4th. Well, Natalie is the winner.
Oh. We had it. Well done, 1-0. We'll have a rematch.
Good game.
Nadia, I want to talk to you a little about your future. I mean, it's been an amazing rise so far. What's one musical idea you've always wanted to try but haven't attempted yet?
Oh my god. Ooh. I think I either eventually will end up very acoustic or I'll end up much heavier, and I'm not sure which way it's gonna go yet. So one of those two. I'd either like do something a bit heavier or something very sort of acoustic and vocally, like Taylor Swift kind of did. But yeah. Or I also want to write a musical. So there you go. That's my 3 things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a bit different. In terms of like venues or supports for bigger artists, is there any dream ones you're like, Josh, I will do this next year. This is my goal.
Other than the obvious ones, I'll give you some not obvious ones because I feel like that's a better answer. My favorite band is a band called Little Comets. I'd love to support Little Comets. I ask them every time they play a tour. I'm like, hey, it's me again. Can I support you? So that would be cool. If I do that, then I would feel very, very happy, like with everything in my life.
I'm really surprised you said that because I hear them and I've done content. Amazing, amazing.
So I'm so pleased. Good. So yeah.
In terms of working with them, like not many artists that I know speaking to now would have heard Little Comments, love Little Comments. They're not a huge act. So that is one that seriously might
That's
very realistic next year.
Oh yeah. No, I'm glad that you know who they are. That's good.
Amazing. Right, guys, we're going to move on to our song reviews. So I'm going to put a song and artist in the chat box. Natalie and Tom are going to mute themselves, go away and listen to it, and they're going to give their opinion on a song. The first one we have is Common Baby by Back Bond. Whilst they're listening to it, I'm going to go away and tell you all about it. So this is a fun and infectious country pop bar anthem. Can be played for family or friends of all ages. The single is to broaden audiences together for a great time to shout, come on, baby, and celebrate the joyous infrastructure feeling of love at first sight. What a description that is. That is some feel-good energy. I've listened to it before and it definitely brings that. It's been very well described. And the topical question about the music industry they want talked about on the podcast is I would like to know about funding opportunities for new artists with talent, experience, and great work ethic. I had an amazing call with Help Musicians as a webinar. It's on my YouTube. You can go and check it out right now. And they gave all the tips and tricks of how to get funding. And what I found really impressive, and I never knew this, I've worked in this industry for 9 years, you can call Help Musicians and say, I'm doing one of your applications. Can you help? What would you put for this answer? What would you put for this question? I never knew that, ever. So you can actually call them and walk through your application. I mean, that's going to massively help your chances. We've had a few more artists that I know go through and actually be successful at it. If you want to look elsewhere, on my link tree on my personal social media, there is a grant section, all free to apply for, all free to go to. There's never a guarantee, of course. But if you've got talent, experience, and great work ethic, it is definitely worth doing it. I did a talk at Nine Hill Music Academy last month, I think it was, or the month before. It was all about how musicians can get full time. And one of the artists I said is, do you need it? Do you need funding? And I said, no, I don't think you need it. I think it's just an accelerator. I think you can absolutely make it without it. But with funding, obviously, you can put more money into it and give it a good go, probably at a quicker rate. Would be my advice. But I'm going to ask Natalie and Tom to come back. I'm hoping they've had a nice listen to the song Common Baby by Back Bond. What do we think, guys?
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
I guess it's like a sort of Old Town Road type attempt because the fact it's under 2 minutes, like that's the whole thing with Old Town Road was that it was like a pop country track that was under 2 minutes to get people to keep playing it, and I guess this is another one of those, so they're trying to fill that formula, which I think works. So yeah, I'm down with that.
It's crazy because it wasn't controversial, but a lot of people were debating what genre Old Town Road goes in. And I could see the same with this song as well.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like definitely it didn't sound serious, and it almost sounded like a little bit of a parody of a country song, but like in a good way. Like it doesn't need to be serious, and it doesn't need to not be that. Can just be an enjoyable pop, an enjoyable pop song, which I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great.
I love that. Right, next song we're going to review. This is Soft Focus by Luke. It is a brand new track. It is literally just come out. And the guys will mute themselves and take a listen. So it's all about when you were dreaming of forever and they were just passing time. It's the description of the song, a beautiful description. I've listened to it and it is incredible. I loved it. Anyway, I thought it was absolutely fantastic and beautifully done. And the topical question they've asked to talk about on the pod is how success isn't linear. Does it take time for an artist to throw a motivation? Absolutely. I think in life, like let's take away from music, in any kind of industry you're going down, success isn't linear. There's going to be ups, down, left, right. That's the point of it. I think the key thing an artist needs to have is grit. Really know what they want, what does success look like, and really grit together, find people who've done it, contact them, get great mentors, get a good support system around you. Because it's not going to be like this, it's going to be all over the place, and that's fine. I think that actually helps an artist grow. I think the thing that an artist might struggle with is the motivation, because when it's going well, brilliant. When it's not going well, are you going to stick to those habits and routines that got you the success in the past? And being able to develop like that's important. But having great people you can speak to, a great team, is just so ideal for a musician to learn and grow. I'm going to ask for the guys to come back now, and they're going to tell me what they think. Tom and Natalie, soft focus. What's our thoughts?
I loved it. I think great title for how the song sounds. That's bang on. It summed up. Lovely voice. Lovely like to listen to, but also to have in the background, which I think lots of songs don't do both. Like some songs are good to like listen, but they're not distracting, or some songs that are background music aren't necessarily nice to listen to. So I think it sort of is both of those, which is great.
Natalie, as a musician listening to other songs, I'm guessing you hear things maybe a little bit different than, say, I would. Is there certain things that you listen out to and you're like, wow, oh, that's really inspiring? Or because for me, it's all about feeling, but I'm assuming in addition, you're looking at.
Yeah. I feel like as I've done more and more music, my ability to enjoy music the way I used to has gotten, because I see too much and I'm looking out for too much. I'm definitely more a lyrics person than anything else. So for me, it's lyrics. I'm always listening out for lyrics and lyrics being good. If a song's great but the lyrics are not quite there, I struggle to listen to it. So for me, it's words. But also just like production and like vocal production and how like things are done around that. Like that's the sort of stuff I like. But this one's really lovely. Yeah, really cool.
And that's really interesting about the production side of things, because some people love a really well polished song, some people like it really raw. I think it's interesting to hear that from an artist. Tom, what did you think?
I think coming back to sort of talking about the production side of it, that was, I mean, incredibly put together. I mean, and the way everything, especially like on the intro, when you've just got the sort of like the synths or, like the soft pads in there that are going along with the vocals, and like, it's not like either are competing for space. It is so well balanced and like just merge so well into each other. And then you get all like the different elements, like the little bit of like the backing vocals that come in, and then like there's a saxophone that starts playing, which just like comes in so like sweetly. I mean, that was amazingly put together, and the vocal performance on that was incredible. So yeah, fair play to all involved in that track.
Yeah, it's definitely well thought out and really done to it to an amazing extent. Our last song that we're going to review, guys, this is Supernova by Callum Ford. I'm going to let the guys go away and take a listen, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Thank you for the song reviews, guys, by the way. Keep sending them in. We love doing this on the pod. So this song is a dynamic blend of alternative pop and hip hop. It's packed with a vibrant club energy. Part of his debut album, Slow Progress. The track immerses listeners in the thrilling ambulance of a late night adventure, capturing the essence of an unforgettable night out. It's definitely different. And Callum's voice, like, is really true to himself. I really like that kind of side of things. The topical question he's asked the music podcast to discuss is basically talking about, is it better to go with an extended, so a very well-established record label, or go for a new independent label with more of a DIY approach? It's a brilliant question, Callum, and I think that it's very important to look at both. If you're going with an established label, they're going to have more doors, more connections, more money to throw at it, but potentially you're lower down on their roster of priorities. If you're with a new independent record label doing incredibly well, you're going to be at the very top. And I think it depends on the artist. Some people want that real personal touch, really put on a pedestal, and you get that with a new independent one. Whereas other people like, this is purely about success. I mean, again, it's all getting with the right people, and they're going to push me in the right places, where maybe they would go to a more established label. I think it's a great question. I think actually speaking to artists that have done it is probably better than myself in that scenario. It's speaking to people who have done it, had that decision, maybe done both, because a lot of artists will move labels and in their time, Callum. So I think it's important that you look at that and weigh that up. But it's a fantastic question to ask. I'm going to invite Tom and Natalie back. They're going to talk to me about Supernova. What were your thoughts?
I love a song that starts with the chorus. I think that's great. I always tried to do that myself, but they don't always work. So if you can make that work, that's great. I think by the time it comes to the actual chorus, you know the chorus, and yeah, I love that. I like the rapping. The rapping's cool. It was like sort of not too serious but good. Yeah.
It's definitely a very authentic raw vocals that I really liked. It's definitely different. Tom, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it sounded so like I don't know, just like describe it like familiar. Like I feel like
Is there an artist you would pitch that with?
no, but I can think of so many, but I can't quite remember their names. But like, um,
Can I throw one at you? And this is a bit of a curveball. I don't think they sound similar, but it's definitely who it reminded me of Jamie T.
oh yeah, I can see that
Hmm.
in a different way. I was thinking more like Poppy, but I was thinking maybe sort of like mid 2010s, sort of maybe even a bit earlier, like 2010s Poppy, like almost like Rizzle Kicks era, but not Rizzle Kicks. I could imagine that being sort of at that same time, but in like is a familiar way that it sounded good, but it wasn't too copycatty. Like it was nice. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Absolutely. Natalie, I want to come back and kind of finish the podcast on yourself. There's a lot of musicians that'll be listening to this who really look up to you and go, wow, look at the things she's done, the Victorious, all these great festivals and what you've achieved. What I want to know is kind of how has social media affected the way you connect with fans and what's been your biggest challenge in that area?
Um, I think the biggest challenge was I started this way before TikTok, and then I had to do that. As someone who didn't do that, I think that was a big challenge because for a while I was like resisting it. I was like, oh no, like I'm just not a TikTok artist. But then I realized that no, you have to be a TikTok artist now. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start this thing. And I don't think my like skills are in video creation. I think I'm more of like a sort of audio slash photograph kind of gal. So I had to adapt my whole thing because I've been doing this much longer than TikTok has been around. But I think I'm okay. Definitely more an Instagram person. So that was my biggest sort of thing is how to do that. But now I realize that's a different audience I have there. That's a younger audience. So I've had to, I guess, I have different voices on different platforms, different, they're all me, but just different versions of myself or different layers of myself that I give out to different people. So I think understanding that has been a big thing. But I do think social media is great if you use it in the right way. So yeah.
No, I completely agree. And it's really interesting you say that because a lot of people would look at you as young artists and go, wow, I've done so well. But they don't realize that you've done this for a long, long time. And it's been grafted and then people would see you as an upcomer, but actually the hard work was done a long time ago. I think that's the
Appreciate you saying that. I get people always like, oh, you're aspiring. I'm like, no, I aspired a long time. Yeah.
As a musician, what's the best piece of advice you've been given and why do you think it stuck with you?
Oh my God. I don't know who necessarily gave it, or probably lots of people gave it to me. But for a long time, when I first started out, lots of people try and tell you like what to do and who to be. And I think that's kind of how it is when you haven't got much out and you're still finding yourself. People will sort of try and tell you what to do. And if it doesn't feel right, what I would say is just don't do that. Like if it doesn't feel right, you don't have to. Lots of people told me at the start, I'll put the guitar down. Like that's not your thing. Like don't play guitar. I'm like, actually, no, that is absolutely my thing. And I think if things don't feel right, don't do them and do the things that feel right. But try lots of stuff. Work with a lot of people. Try lots of things. Try different genres. Until you found what you like, and then whatever feels right is probably right. Because at the end of the day, like a real artist is just that's them. That's an extension of them, or that's like something in their head or a persona they created. But it's usually something that they want to be and like. So I think the whole staying true to yourself thing is the most important thing. And when I've been the most true to myself, things have done much better than when I was trying to tick boxes or listen to other people. So yeah.
100%. That is amazing advice for any artist listening. And I completely double down on that. And collaboration is key. That's it for today. Remember, great music deserves great conversation, and this was no exception. Natalie Shay, thank you so much for coming on the music podcast today. Tom, what's
Thank you for everyone's time. See you next week.
Ciao.